Hello, and welcome back to Fifth Entertainment for the next segment of Horror Fest 2023. Now, this next bit of films, you guys are going to argue are not horror films. Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of news, but the Alien franchise in the Predator franchise, which will follow the Alien franchise as a part of this year's annual Horror Fest event, these are horror films. They may be driven by sci-fi storytelling, but at the end of the day, they are definitely horror films. Even when you have an action-driven Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, or Ellen Ripley in the Alien movies. Although we're not starting with Alien, we're starting with the prequels, which I think are a good companion piece to a perfect trilogy leading into Alien. Where things get shady is with Aliens, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, where they kind of diverted from it being mainly terrifying horror to adventure and horror being combined. So let's talk about the first one. The first one we are reviewing is the new 4K release of Prometheus. Now this is a little different because now that we're all caught up to where I want to be on this event, I literally just watched this movie and finished it not just 5 minutes ago, which is the amount of time it takes for me to put my soundbar on mute, set up the camera, and get ready to sit in front of the camera and review the film. All right. Well, I first came across Prometheus at Walmart on release night back in the day when Walmart actually was open 24 hours a day, and it was the hot spot for picking up the newest release. And that's how I got Prometheus first time, and that was in DVD format. Then eventually I got the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray plus Blu-ray 3D version of the film. Is it a good 3D film? Yes, but I'll be honest. Out of all the formats that I've watched this movie on, this is the best I've ever seen it look. I can't even begin to fathom how much of a 4K experience this movie is. But first, let's talk about the synopsis on the back of the Blu-ray case. Legendary director Ridley Scott, Alien, Blade Runner, returns to his sci-fi origins in this epic adventure bursting with spectacular action and mind-blowing visual effects. A team of scientists and explorers travels to the darkest corners of the universe, searching for the origins of human life itself. Instead, they find a dark, twisted world that hides a terrifying threat capable of destroying them and all humankind. Yeah, that's not bad, considering the fact that it leaves out the basic stuff, obviously, that we're familiar with. If you are familiar with the Alien franchise, this is the origin story, essentially. It shows where the seed of kind of what created what we know as the xenomorph comes from. Now, is it the finished product? No. The finished product is actually introduced in the next film I'm going to be reviewing, which will be tomorrow night, after work. But this sets it up quite well. It's like part 1 to part 3 of a perfect trilogy. It kind of leads basically through the evolution of the xenomorph villain in the Alien franchise, which of course leads into the subsequent sequels that follow. I could definitely say I like this movie. There's a lot of people out there that did not like this movie, but let me explain why a lot of people did not like Prometheus. There was 2 reasons in particular. 2 reasons. Ridley Scott did not let people in on a little secret that this was a prequel to the Alien franchise. He kept that in the dark, so he could bring people out to the box office seats and watch the film. At the very end of the film, it becomes pretty obvious this is not just familiar to the Alien franchise, it's the prequel. But he told people forever and ever and ever, this is not an Alien movie. Well, it's an Alien movie, it's the prequel. That's what Prometheus is the prequel. One of 2. I would say that the one that came after it was even more of a prequel to Alien. But that comes to the second reason of the 2 why people really did not take to this film. Thanks to James Cameron, when people think of an Alien movie, they think of an action-packed adventure mixed in with a sci-fi horror element movie like Aliens. Well, here's the difference between Aliens and Alien. Aliens, although a horror film, definitely a horror film. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that it is a horror film. Tends to lose track that it is a horror film by bringing in this action adventure extravaganza into the film, by making it feel like that for or at least a point in the film that we are fairly matched up against the monster. Well, that is not Alien. So that's why, as much as I like Aliens, I think Aliens strives away from being a terrifying horror film to being a scary horror film, but with a sense of hope over the dread. I think it's the easiest way to put it. Granted, there's still terrifying moments in Aliens, but it's not like Alien. Prometheus, on the other hand, Prometheus is created by Ridley Scott, the creator of the first Alien movie. In Alien, there is no hope against the dread at all in Alien. You are actually surprised that Ellen Ripley survives, because they are so outmatched, because these are just coal miners. These are just regular workers. They're not military, Marines and stuff like that, armed with firepower and all that stuff. Although the xenomorphs took them out anyways. They don't have that advantage. They're just regular people. They have to depend on their intelligence to survive, and nobody but one person survives in that movie. Prometheus is a lot like that. This is quite a terrifying film at certain points where there's no hope for anyone, really. And so it goes back to the basis of what the Alien franchise was supposed to be in the first place, which is why I like the movie and why a lot of people don't like the movie. Now, I can say the same thing about Alien 3, and I will definitely talk about that, because despite the fact that Aliens through Alien Resurrection is not available in 4K, and of course the terrible AVP, yes, you heard me, terrible Alien vs. Predator films, I will definitely be reviewing those, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to lie to you, I think they're terrible fucking movies. I'm sorry. I know that I know that's going to get some controversy, especially when I review those two films, but I think those two films are fucking junk compared to the other Predator films and the other Alien films. I think it's probably a part of it is the fact that I know the story of Aliens vs. Predator, and I played the video game. So I know what Aliens vs. Predator is supposed to be and what it's not supposed to be. But we're striving away from it. So let's talk about the quality of Prometheus. All right, the quality of Prometheus. This right here might be one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. Now, I know you're saying, you never said that before, Foos. You never said this is the best 4K I've ever seen. Well, I'm saying it. This might be one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. The HDR in this particular movie is completely next level. The HDR just plays so well with this movie, so much that I've seen good HDR. I haven't quite seen HDR like this. I really have not quite seen HDR10 quite like this. This was something visionary to look at, in my opinion, in terms of the 4K technology. The brights were always there, and what's crazy about this movie is this is a very dready movie. I mean, except for like very first started the movie, there is no sunlight at all in this film. And this film has so much bright colors and so much high contrast and so much deep blacks and vivid imagery that it's insane that this film looks as good as it does. But it really does look that damn good in 4K. Now, I told you 4K. You're not going to get this type of quality on DVD and Blu-ray. Forget it. You're not going to get it. You're going to get it on 4K. As for the audio, I've forgotten how damn good this 7.1 detached HDMA sound presentation is. There's so many effects going around. This is next level on that. This right here is a reference movie, basically. This is a film that I would recommend that people take a look at on how to make the perfect 4K, because this is almost down near perfect. It might actually be literally a perfect 4K. I can't see anything wrong with it. And so yeah, go out the stores, double dip on this movie and get the 4K. You will not be disappointed. And then we are out of time. Matter of fact, we're all over. But you know what? I'm pretty sure that I can have something that is 13 minutes on this channel. So, if you haven't seen Prometheus, check it out. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our next review of Alien Covenant. Until then.